Dear students, I welcome you in today's lecture. Today's lecture is for the students of Bachelor of Arts Semester 1. This lecture is for the subject of English as per the syllabi of BPS University, Kanpur Kala, Sonipat. This lecture is recorded for the Department of Higher Education under the aegis of Director General Higher Education, Haryana. This lecture will assist you to understand adverb. Adverb is one of the component of parts of a speech. You have already read about adverb in parts of a speech, but today we are going to discuss adverb in detail. Adverb is the fourth subunit of third unit of grammar in the paper of English whose paper code is ENG 101. This paper is prescribed in BA first semester by BPS Women University, Kanpur Kala, Sonipat. Dear students, this lecture has been divided into four sections. The first section is what is an adverb. In this section, we will discuss about the adverb with some example. The second section is kinds of adverb. Here we will talk about the seven types of adverb. The third section is types of adverb according to their use. According to their use, adverbs can be divided into three classes. We will talk about those classes in this section. The fourth section contains an exercise for your practice. Let's start our first section, which is what is an adverb? An adverb is a word used to add something to the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. For example, Raman runs quickly. This is a very sweet apple. Mohit reads quite clearly. In these examples, the words which has been written in red color, they are adverbs. In the sentence 1, quickly shows how Raman runs or in what manner he runs so quickly modifies the verb runs. In the second example, the word very shows how much the apple is sweet or in what degree it is sweet. So here the word very modifies the adjective sweet. The third sentence quite shows how far Mohit reads clearly or to what extent he reads clearly. So here the word quite modifies the adverb clearly. So the words quickly, very, quite are the example of adverbs. So we can say a word that modifies the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or another adverb is called an adverb. In the last slide, we have seen how adverb can modify another word, whether it is a verb, an adjective, and an adverb. In the following sentences, we will see how adverb can modify the phrase. He was sitting close beside her. At what hour is the sun right above us? Have you read all through this book? She was dressed all in white. He paid his debts down to the last penny. In these examples, the words which has been written in red color, they are the example of adverb, and the words which are written in green color, they are the phrases which have been modified by the adverb. Dear students, till now we have noticed that an adverb can modify a word and phrase. In this slide, we will see that adverbs standing at the beginning of sentences sometimes modify the whole sentence rather than any particular word. For example, probably he is mistaken. Possibly it is as you say. Evidently, the figures are incorrect. Unfortunately, no one was present there. Luckily, he escaped unhurt. In these sentences, the words probably, possibly, evidently, unfortunately, luckily are the example of adverbs, while the rest of the sentence, which has been written in green color, it is the sentence which have been modified by these adverbs. Dear students, I welcome you in the second section of my lecture where we will talk about the kinds of adverbs. Adverbs can be divided into seven kinds. The first one is adverbs of time. Adverbs of time tell us when an action happened. They express a point in time. They are extremely common in English. Adverbs that tell us when are usually placed at the end of the sentence. Adverbs of time can also tell how long something lasted or lasts. Adverbs of time tells us at what time or for how long something happens. These adverbs of time are often used to talk about the past. For example, the words yesterday, the day before, ago, last week, month, or year. They are also used to talk about the present. For example, the words still, yet, while, when are used to talk about the present time. Adverbs are often used to talk about the future as well. The words like soon, then, next week, month, or year, in 2 days, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. So these words are used when an adverb has to talk about future. There are also some adverbs which talk about the past, the present, and the future also. For example, the words already, finally, eventually, after, before. These are the words which can be used for all the three tense Dear students, let's have some examples of adverbs of time to understand adverbs of time in a better way. We have heard this before. That day she arrived late. She comes here daily. I hurt my head yesterday. I have spoken to her already. Wasted time never returns. She once met me in Delhi. I have not seen her since. In these sentences, the words before, late, daily, yesterday, already, never, once, since tells about the time of the particular incident when it happened. The second type of adverb is adverbs of frequency. An adverb of frequency describes how often an action happens. These adverbs are different at the level of frequency. To make questions about frequency, we generally use a segment. For example, how often? But it is also possible to ask questions simply with an adverb of frequency. For example, do you often come here? In these two examples, the one is inquiring about the frequency of the event. There are six main types of adverbs of frequency which are often used in utterances. The first one is always, usually or normally, often, sometimes, rarely, never. These are the six main adverbs. Other than this, there are also some other adverbs which are used as adverbs of frequency. Let's have some examples of adverbs of frequency to understand it better. I have told him twice. We have not seen him once. She often makes mistakes. You seldom come here. The driver called again. She always tries to do her best. In these examples, the words twice, once, often, seldom, again, always talk about the frequency of the event. The next adverb which we are going to discuss is adverbs of place. Adverbs of place are words that tell you where something takes place. They give additional information about the verb. Adverbs of place usually answer one question: where? They are usually placed after the main verb or after the clause they modify. Here we are having the example of some words which are used as adverbs of place. For example, the words abroad, across, ahead, back, backwards, beyond, down, downwards, eastward, everywhere, here, in, indoors, inside, outside, overseas, there, west, anywhere, away, elsewhere, far, near, nearby, over, etc. These are the words which are used as adverbs of place. Dear students, let's have some examples of adverbs of place to understand it in a better way. Stand here, go there. The little child followed his mother everywhere. My brother is out. Come in. Walk backward. She looked up. Is Mr. Amit within? In these sentences, the words here, there, everywhere, out, in, backward, up, within. These words are the examples of adverbs of place, and these words are referring to some place which is asked for or where the action is going to take place. The next adverb which we are going to discuss here is adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner describes how or in what way something is done. It usually gives the answer to a question, which is how is the action carried out? Most adverbs in English are adverbs of manner. The majority of these adverbs are derived from adjectives. Most of these adverbs are formed simply by adding ly at the end of the words. Let's have some examples of adverbs of manner to understand it in a better way. The soldiers fought bravely. The girl works hard. Is that so? Thus only will he succeed. Neha reads clearly. This novel is well written. The child slept soundly. He should not do so. In these sentences, the words bravely, hard, so, only, clearly, well, soundly, so are the examples of adverbs of manner. Adverbs of degree or quantity is the fifth kind of adverb. Adverbs of degree tell us about the intensity of something. It also answers the questions like how much or in what degree or to what extent the things happen. Adverbs of degree are usually placed before the adjective, adverb, or verb that they modify, although there are some exceptions as well. The words too, enough, very, and extremely are examples of adverbs of degree. Let's have some examples of adverbs of degree or quantity to understand it in a better way. He was too careless. Is that any better? I am fully prepared. You are quite wrong. I am so glad. You are partly right. You are altogether mistaken. She sings pretty well. In these examples, the words careless, any, fully, quite, so, partly, altogether, pretty are the examples of adverbs of degree as they are telling us about the intensity of the event. The next adverb which we are going to discuss is adverbs of affirmation and negation. These adverbs are used to answer the questions raised by the others. Adverbs such as yes and yeah are called adverbs of affirmation. Adverbs such as no and never are called adverbs of negation. As it is clear from the name of this adverb, affirmation and negation, it refers to yes and no respectively. Dear students, let's have some examples of adverbs of affirmation and negation to understand it in a better way. Surely you are mistaken. I will definitely do that project. I will never do that project. Raz clearly states her concern. We are definitely leaving tomorrow. The soldier should certainly get an award for bravery. He certainly went. In these sentences, the word surely, definitely, never, clearly, definitely, certainly are the examples of adverbs of affirmation and negation. Let us discuss the second and third sentence. The second sentence and third sentence having the word definitely and never are the example of affirmation and negation respectively. I will definitely do that project is the example of adverb of affirmation, and the sentence I will never do that project is an example of adverb of negation. The next adverb which we are going to discuss is adverbs of reason. Adverbs of reason are also sometimes referred to as adverbs of purpose. Adverbs of reason are words used to tell the reason behind the happening of a particular incident. Some examples of the adverbs of reason are therefore, hence, because, so, etc. Let's have some examples to understand adverbs of reason in a better way. He is hence unable to deny the charge. She therefore left hospital. Amit was hence neglected by the teachers. He thus opened the door, applying little visible force. He therefore does not want to talk to her. The teacher is ill and therefore is unable to come to school. In these sentences, the words hence, therefore, and thus are used to tell the reason behind the happening of a particular incident. For example, let's see the last sentence. The teacher is ill and therefore is unable to come to school. In this example, the teacher is unable to come to school because he is ill, and this reason has been told by the word therefore. This is the third section of our lecture. In this section, we will talk about the classifications of adverbs according to their use. Adverbs can be divided according to their use also. When we divide adverbs according to their use, they can be divided into three classes. The first one is simple adverbs. These adverbs used to modify the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. Let's have some example. He can hardly believe it. You are quite wrong. How brightly the moon shines. In these examples, we see the words hardly quite brightly. They are the examples of simple adverbs. The second class of adverbs, according to their use, is interrogative adverbs. These adverbs are used to ask questions. For example, where is Sumit? When did he come? Why are they late? How did you manage it? How many girls are there in your class? One thing which I want to make clear here is that sometimes a word can belong to more than one adverb. In these sentences, we find that the adverb of place is where, but when this adverb of place is used to ask the question, so then it is termed as interrogative adverb of place. Likewise, in the second example, when is the example of adverb of time, but when it is used to ask the question, then it becomes the example of interrogative adverb of time. In the same way, why is the example of interrogative adverb of reason. How is the example of interrogative adverb of manner. And likewise, how many is the example of interrogative adverb of number. The third classification of adverbs according to their use is relative adverbs. These adverbs refer back to a noun as their antecedent. Let's have some examples. I remember the house where I was born. That's the park where we met for the first time. That picture is taken in the hostel where I used to stay. I remember the day when we first met. There was a very cold winter the year when he was born. Tell me why you came home late. In these examples, the words where, when, and why are used to refer to the noun as their antecedent. For example, in the sentence first, I remember the house where I was born. In this example, the word where is referring to the house where he was born. So, at last, we can conclude that a simple adverb merely modifies some word. An interrogative adverb not only modifies some word but also introduces a question, while a relative adverb not only modifies some word but also refer back to some antecedent. This is the last and fourth section of our lecture exercise. Before giving the exercise, there are some instructions which you have to follow before doing this exercise. The first is that you have to pick out the adverbs from the sentences and you have to tell what each modifies. You also have to tell whether the modified word is a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. And after that, you have to classify each adverb as an adverb of time, place, manner, degree, etc. In this way, you have to tell and about the adverb, and you have to classify that adverb also. Dear students, we have 10 sentences here. You can note down these sentences, and firstly you have to figure out the adverb from these sentences, and then you have to tell us the word which is modified by these adverbs, and at the end you have to classify those adverbs. The first sentence is, the patient is much worse today. She arrived a few minutes ago. Ambition urges me forward. She was dressed all in black. We were very kindly received. Her son is out in Iran. I surely expect him tomorrow. He could not speak. He was so angry. We have crossed the snake, not killed it. Do not crowd your work so closely together. Dear students, let's sum up what we have learned today. A word that modifies the meaning of a verb and adjective or another adverb is called an adverb. An adverb can modify a phrase, a word, or a sentence also. We have seven kinds of adverb. For example, adverb of time, frequency, manner, place, degree and quantity, affirmation and negation, and adverb of reason. According to use, an adverb have three classes: simple adverb, interrogative adverb, and relative adverb. There is also one exercise which you have to do. Thank you very much for watching this lecture. I hope that the information provided in this lecture will be useful for you to understand the adverb in a better way. Thank you very much.